I'm gonna try to pull the prop. I don't have a puller. I can go rent one, but I'm here now. I've got 2 old hardened steel rasps. They're all rusty. These were just in the bottom of my dad's toolbox. And I've got some C-clamps. Let's see if I can press this off. Because we're definitely getting a new prop. Last resort, if I can't get it off, I can just cut it off. But I don't really want to do that. You get as much done as you can. And then when projects run dry because you're out of parts or can't figure something out, you just do something else. But meanwhile, Noelle's just jamming. Really pensive in thought. She's got her head pushed up against the hole. She's really just connecting with y'all. We gotta get a puller for the prop, or make a puller. Maybe talk to someone here in the yard. I'm sure someone's done that before.
We need to give you guys a shower.
What are you talking about?
And we'll be back here tomorrow.
Pretty as pretty comes.
We get down to the beat, y'all. We get down to the beat, y'all. We get down to the beat, y'all. It's like we're not going anywhere.
The last 2 weeks looked a lot like this. Sanding and forgetting the cameras were rolling and grinding away at a 2-foot hole on the bottom of our boat. It was time to change it up though this week. Grant decided to work with the Propeller since we were planning to get a new one. He had to call the prop shop and give them the specs of our engine, Westerbeek Universal M40B, which puts out 37.5 horsepower, and gave them specs on our vessel. And they came back saying that we should use a Michigan 3-blade 16x10, which is a bit confusing because it's the same pitch as the prop we have now, but the original boat design, which is smaller, can turn a 16x12. Either way, the first step was getting the prop off.
At least the benefit there is we're painting and cleaning, and anyways, so if I scratch up the rudder, it's not the end of the deal. There it goes. Shaft is either longer than it should be or the prop's taller, but can't physically get it. Oh, just barely comes off. Nice. Don't have to make the shaft. I think the previous owner might have already replaced the Cutlass bearing at one point, so I hope maybe I could just get these set screws or tap the set screws out, re-tap these holes, put in a new Cutlass bearing, tighten it down. At least one of these, I'm thoroughly impressed. I actually got it to turn without stripping the Allen. Hopefully we can get it to come out without stripping it. And then we just have to rinse and repeat for the other side. All right, got that screw undone. I was really surprised. That screw undone. I just pushed him in just a little bit. This spins. I think the moment of truth is, does it come all the way out? You. Oh. Yeah, I see what's gonna happen here. Cutlass bearing is not gonna come out, is it? Oh. Wow. It's like they just barely knew. Seems like our shaft is misaligned just a little bit. See how it's not symmetric?
Oh yeah.
I think we'll have to adjust our motor mounts to get this so that it's symmetric. You can see, you probably can't see it on camera, but when I rotate this in the transmission neutral, it doesn't, it kind of seems like the whole shaft is going like this, so maybe the coupling section is like it's not centered in the axis of the transmission. The whole shaft is up just a little bit. You can see it kind of drifts, but I don't know, that could be because the shaft is bent a little bit. See how it gets a little tighter right there, and then I turn it, it kind of swings down, then it gets tighter. It's definitely not centered in this aperture, so I think an alignment would be necessary to get that nice and straight before I put the new Cutlass bearing in. A little salty.
Salty?
Brian was a little salty.
Lunch is served. Oh yeah. Fresh bluefin.
This is Dorado.
Dorado?
That's roasted.
Wow, babe, this is really good.
Yeah, salty though.
I don't think so. I think it's amazing. When we were out there.
Oops.
The last couple weeks for Grant and myself have been full of big life changes. Grant decided to resign from paramedicine after some really tough discussions together, and reasons I won't go into here. I think we all know change can be tough, but life works in mysterious ways, and as soon as the chapter of paramedicine came to an end, a new opportunity arose and he started building tiny homes for a local startup called Central Coast Tiny Homes. Firefighting is a huge passion of Grant's, the biggest reason being the reward that comes from helping others, but now he is helping people in a different way. So the week was not as productive on the boat as we had hoped, since he had his first tiny home install at work. I've been busy starting to service the through holes, and I need to emphasize starting, because just getting the through holes dismantled and cleaned has been tough. At some point, we realized that our time is more valuable than trying to save a through hole as well. I have been tasked with servicing the through holes, and I almost said winches because I actually have serviced the winches previous episode. I was really proud of myself. So I took it upon myself to call the manufacturer of these valves, and the name is right here on the valve stem. It says Red White Toyo. I didn't know the first thing about cleaning and servicing through holes, so I just called them and gave them the figure number, which is 5044. They told me it's made of brass and that I can use any kitchen cleaning supply solvent to clean these. So they said simple green, so I'm gonna try that today. I feel like I need something stronger than simple green. In there. I used to actually make a lot of jewelry and work with metals, so I had a lot of steel wool, and it's starting to work a little better than the simple green. That is very green. Okay. So now that goes like this. Gotta get this off. Yes. Okay. One through hole down. That one's garbage, but the rest of these I can service. Woohoo!
We get down to the beat, y'all.
This is past peanut butter.
The beat, y'all.
Practically be like moldable. This has zero structural.
We showered at the boatyard after a full day's work and then went to Mercy's and got a drink.
That was definitely not a full day's work.
Okay, well, half a day's work, that's right. It's like 4:30 right now. And yeah, I think we cleaned up pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to Mars when? Takeoff's in 2 hours.
You're funny.
Baby, one day